It's time for Access the Experts from the University of Nebraska at Omaha with your host, Brandon Axamit.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Access the Experts on News Channel Nebraska, where every Tuesday and Thursday, University of Nebraska at Omaha faculty members answer today's questions facing our state. Today we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Matthew Heesch, who is an assistant professor at UNO's School of Health and Kinesiology. So Matthew, today's question is, what are the best foods a person can eat to keep both body and mind healthy?
Thank you for that question, Brandon. I'd be happy to talk to you today about healthy eating. Our diet is a key part of our overall health and well-being, so it's important for us to know what foods are good for us and just important to know what foods we should try to avoid. There is no one magical food that can meet all of our nutritional needs, and this is why it's important for us to have a variety of nutrient-rich foods in our diet. We break foods down into 5 basic categories: fruits, vegetables, grains, dairy, and protein. Our fruits and vegetables are really important for us because they are what we call nutrient-dense foods, meaning that they have a lot of nutritional content without a lot of calories. Because of this, it's recommended that we get 1 to 2 servings of fruit and 2 to 3 servings of vegetables every day. Our grains are important because they are one of the main sources of energy for us. It's recommended that we have somewhere between 3 and 8 servings of grain each day, dependent on our activity level. People who are more active are on the higher end, people who are less active are on the lower end. We break our grains down into 2 basic types: whole grains and refined grains. Whole grains contain all the nutritional content from the plant that they were harvested from, whereas refined grains go through a process to attempt to improve the taste, look, or texture of the food, and because of that, they lose some of their nutritional content. Whole grains are things like whole wheat bread or brown rice, whereas our refined grains are things like white bread and white rice. Dairy is important for us because it provides calcium, which is critical for bone health. We should get 2 to 3 servings of dairy each day. Finally, for our protein foods, we want somewhere between 2 and 6 servings each day, again, depending on activity level. We want most of our protein content to come from lean protein sources, such as poultry or fish. Some foods we should try to avoid, if at all possible, are foods that provide what's known as empty calories, things that don't have a lot of nutritional content but a high caloric value, such as soda or candy. It's also important for us to limit our saturated and trans fats as well as cholesterol. Fat is important in the diet, but we want to steer more towards our healthy fats, which are our monounsaturated fats. If you're looking for more information on nutrition, a great resource is choosemyplate.gov. Here you can find general nutritional information and guidelines, educational resources for students and educators, even recipes and tips for eating a balanced diet on a budget, which can be extremely helpful. Thanks so much for having me on to answer this question.
Thank you, Matthew, for sharing your expertise on a topic that is especially relevant over the holidays. For our viewers at home, we want you to interact with UNO's experts, so if you have a question that you want answered, go to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the Access the Experts link to submit your question. It may just be answered by a UNO expert on an upcoming edition. As always, do not forget that Access the Experts airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. We'll see you next time.
Access the Experts, presented by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. If you have questions, submit them on our website. Then join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 6:46 a.m. and p.m. while we answer your questions.